today?
Tequila Talk Tuesday 2022.
Guys, it's a new year and new setup. Do you like my pictures? And our microphone, we're going to test this out and see if it actually makes us sound more legit.
Yeah, right? I'm excited about it though.
Me too.
Okay,
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to a new year.
I like it.
I hope you like coconut.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Tequila and coconut?
Coconut LaCroix?
Something French.
Something French, that's what it is.
Oh, that's good. That was good. I like that.
Okay.
So, our topic today, you guys. I've been seeing this all over social media, and I actually just answered a question, poll question on Instagram from one of my followers. Advice that you would give your younger self. And I think this is such a cool, I'm going to do a reel on this. I think I'm going to involve this in my programs because like, I just think this is, and it's not new, but I think it's such a cool concept because what advice would you give your younger self if you could talk to them right now? Like say like 14 when you're going into that weird phase of not knowing your life.
I honestly, and it's funny that you said when we were talking about like the topics that we wanted to discuss today, I was actually thinking about this because I was having a conversation with one of my clients who's about the same age as one of my sisters. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, all the things that I tell my sisters to do, like that's what I would tell myself. And it's funny because you always heard your parents say like, oh, like you should do this, or when I was your age, like I wish I would have known this or would have done that.
Back
like,
in my day.
Yeah. And you're like, whatever. But it is, I'm feeling that right now because my outlook on life, I wish that I had the same outlook now, and I wish like Andy Frisella is my god, I swear. And I wish that I would have known, that drive and discipline back when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And specifically real estate. I wish that I did not see it as a scary commitment, and I wish I would have saw it as, no, this is actually a smart investment, and just because you buy a house in one city does not mean you have to live there for the rest of your life. And that was my mentality back then, was if I buy a house in Lethbridge, I'm stuck in Lethbridge forever, and that's just simply not reality. Like you can have a rental property and leave.
Totally.
Yes, it takes a little bit more work to rent it out, but like definitely worth it.
I like it. I mean, mine has definitely been the advice that I would give my younger self, because we all know I'm working on I just finished the outline to my femininity program, you guys. I'm so fucking pumped. I'm so excited. But I mean, going through this femininity journey and kind of realizing like my own personal brand and who I am and working on mindset, and definitely it's been a lot of mindset work. The advice that I would give my younger self is to, it sounds so cliche, you know it, we're the queens of cliches, but to not give a flying fuck what anybody else thinks of you, and don't let them influence who you are. I've talked about this before, but like the epiphany that I had where I felt like I was responsible for other people's feelings, so I had to act a certain way, I had to be a certain way, I had to change basically who I was in order to fit in with this group or this idea of what other people wanted me to be or expected of me. Really? Like, no. Like, if I could tell my 14-year-old self, just, no, you do you. Live life. Don't give a shit what anybody else thinks of you. And that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. Like, my son is so worried about not making friends. And I'm like, dude, you're awesome. You're great. You're energetic. You're fun. You have all these physicalities that you do. Like, don't care about what other people think. Like, you just do you. If they want to be your friend, that's great. That is, lucky for you. But don't worry about what they think. And so I think that's the biggest piece of advice that I could give.
Well, my best friend and I, we were talking, she has a soon-to-be 10-month-old baby, and we were talking about the other night, how the whole, like, sex shaming, and, like, it's okay, society views men sleeping around with a totally different light than like women having multiple partners. And we were just saying like sex is a part of life, it's natural, it's not something to be shamed, but how are you going to approach that with your daughter? And I'm like, I feel like how a mom would approach it versus a dad would approach it with their daughter is very different. And so we were just talking about what we wish we would have like even known now as our younger self. And one of the things I said was my advice to young girls is stop trying to like leech on to every single man and think that they have to be your husband.
Yeah.
Because I think that like it's just drilled in young women, and maybe less now, but it's just drilled into women like you need to find a man, you need to get married, you need to have babies, and that's that.
You know what? On top of that too, it's like we teach women that sex is sacred. It's this very sacred thing. But then with boys, I feel like, you teach them that sex is sacred, but it's like, but sex is sacred for the girl. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah.
And I'm of the mentality, like, no, I've kicked guys out of my house. Why the hell not? I haven't gotten emotionally attached to them. I think that's the stupidest fucking thing on the face of the planet. Like as soon as you have sex with somebody, suddenly you have to have this emotional attachment. No, sex is a very physical act, and it's your decision whether or not you choose to put your emotions into it.
Yeah.
I just feel...
And that's where I think that people, you need to embrace yourself and what you want and stop trying to look for happiness in other people. Look for happiness in yourself. And I was like, if I can preach that to my nieces and nephews, like just be happy. Don't try to grab onto everyone like they need to be your life partner. Because your life partner, they will come into your life and... cliche, but when you're least expecting it, but it's fucking true.
And you know what? Like I as you were saying that, I was thinking about an interview that Will Smith did, and he said, I was happy on my own and growing on my own, and Jada was growing unhappy on her own, and then we came together and we grew as individuals but together. It was like a supporting, and I feel like that's what your relationship and my relationship are like. Pablo's doing different things and he's got different goals and stuff like that, but you guys are still working together and growing together, you know, and being supportive of each other. And it's the same with me and Jerry. I don't know fucking shit about construction at all, but he's growing his company, I'm growing my company in totally different aspects, but we're still growing and supporting each other together. But I don't expect him to make me happy. If you're expecting another person to make me to make you happy, you're just going to be sad for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's because you are your number one. You are supposed to be your number one cheerleader. You are the only person who's going to be with you forever. So be happy with yourself.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm currently trying to figure out is I love traveling. I love traveling so much. And one of the honestly excuses that I told my younger self why I didn't have certain things was because I like to travel, and I was like, whatever, I don't have money, but I have travel and experience and friends, and I've learned so much. And now I'm like, because it's like that back and forth between how much what if you died tomorrow? Would you be happy with your life?
Yeah.
And so would you be happy that you worked a 12-hour day and did what you said you were going to do? But what if you had to do that for 2 years straight and you didn't get to travel and then you died? Like, would you be satisfied? And that's where I think my current is trying to find that balance of like being proud of the work that you're putting in, but also being proud of what actually fuels you and brings you happiness.
But it takes a long time to figure out what fuels and makes you happy, you know? Like, and so I feel like as we talk about a lot on this is celebrating your little wins and seriously being grateful for what you have right now. And like, because I definitely didn't have a typical 20s. I started dating my husband when I was 19 years old. I've been to one tropical place in my entire life, and that was in 2009. And then I got married at 23. I had babies at 25. I definitely wasn't and I got told a lot. They're just like, oh, you're missing out on your 20s. You're missing out on going and partying and dating and traveling. That was definitely a huge thing. And I'm sitting there going, so what? If I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have gone to Russia like I want to. I wouldn't have been able to go to Egypt. I wouldn't have been able to do all these things that I do eventually want to do, but I would be happy dying tomorrow because I have 2 amazing kids. I have an amazing husband. We have not stellar, but like a good financial setup. You know, we've got, I would be happy. But then at the same time, if life allows me to keep on living, I've got time to go and do those things with my husband. You know, I've got time to do those experiences. So when people, I actually really like this. When people say that life is short, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, in the universal scheme of things, life is short. We've only got one life to live, but that should not send you into a panic about having to do these things right now. Because there's somebody that I follow that said he didn't write his first book until he was 40.
Yeah, honestly, I will reference Andy Frisell always because he is my drive.
100.
But he said it was like January 4th or January 6th of like 2016. He was. And it made me think of you too, of our conversations about imposter syndrome and how we have it all the time. And he said, he was like, I was running this very successful supplement and like fitness company, and I was a fat fuck. He was like, I was so fat. And he's like, and on that day I decided, and I announced it to the world, like, I'm changing my life. And he like posted this video and everything, and he has literally, like, he looks like a totally different person.
Yeah.
And that's where I just think it's, I don't know, you have to make a decision and you have to just go for it. And I don't know, it's just a lot. I've been listening to a lot of his podcasts, and they're just hitting home with, there's just shit that you got to do, and you just have to like accept it and, I don't know, move forward. But advice to my younger self, find Andy Frisell and listen to his podcast. Buy real estate, still have fun, but live. Yeah, be proud of every day that you do.
And don't stress about what tomorrow's gonna bring. Because
and don't find happiness in other people.
Yes,
find it in yourself.
Don't give a fuck what other people think, because what other people think of you is not your fucking business.
It's not you said it's not your responsibility.
It's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility. Again, it's not your responsibility to make somebody happy. It's not your responsibility to make other people like you. They will like you or not like you, regardless of what you try to do. You could be the nicest fucking person in the world, and somebody out there is still going to hate you and think that you're fake.
Yeah.
And then my other last piece of advice is to always remember that if somebody is going to talk trash about you, regardless of what you've done, if they don't like what you're doing, or if they have judgments about you, those are their insecurities being projected onto you. So don't take offense to anything. Don't take anything personally. Just go live your life. Don't stress. Wake up the next morning and find your drive.
Yeah. Find your freaking drive.
I like that. That's amazing. All right. Cheers
to our younger selves, hopefully being better than us.
I'm pretty awesome. I don't know how you can get any better. Okay. Cheers.